What's going on, good people? This video, I'm going to be talking about a job I did for assembling a pool table for a customer. This job was done working as a handy pro. So this particular job, as I mentioned in the opening, I got as a job to do work for Handy. I've done some videos in the past where I talk about my experience with working as Handy, as a Handy Pro. If you're not familiar with Handy, basically it is a service that allows independent contractors to do work for customers. Primarily, this work that they're done that needs to be done is usually like putting furniture together, doing home maintenance tasks, so like cutting grass or putting in a light fixture or fixing a plumbing problem, stuff like that nature, where you don't necessarily want to have like a person from a large company come out to do it. So it's an easy way to get in and get involved in doing these type of tasks and to make money on the side. So that's initially how I did it. I started in January of 2020 doing this, and I will say 2020 was for me just doing this, maybe 10 hours a week or every other week. Made a pretty decent amount of money and made some clients that I'm able to get callbacks for. But enough about that. I will have a link if you want to sign up to be a Handy Pro. I'll put a link down in the description so that you can register. And if you get enough jobs within a given time frame, they will give you a bonus. So there's that. So this particular video, I did a pool table. This is actually the second time that I've done this model of pool table, and uh, yeah, it was essentially the same pool table, but this pool table was actually a red pool table and not the traditional green pool table that you would normally see for a pool table. So I thought that was a pretty cool looking color. Come to find out, red is this particular customer's favorite color, so it kind of made sense. But let's get into it. There were some issues with putting this table together, but I will share those a little bit later in the video. So this is the table. As you see, the table is face down in the box. All the parts are contained within inside of um, the back side of the box, and that's what you're seeing here right now. And so this is the box. The top of the box has already been removed on it. And so we have a number of parts. It's kind of a bad photo of what I tried to take a picture of. So this is what I took a picture of, though, what I was trying to take a picture of. So you actually, when you start, there are about 30 or so steps to put this pool table together. This is a lot. It took me about 3.5 hours to put it together. And I think the handy job for that was scheduled for 3.5 to 4 hours. So it's very intense. It's a very elaborate process. So you start out by putting all of the legs together. And so each leg you have to do independently. This here, although it looks like wood on the outside here, this is actually plastic. And then you have a wood support that goes in the middle, and then you have a foot, the kind of a screw-in foot to adjust the leveling of the table that goes in here. That comes in a later step. And so, but you have to put each of these together, and then you have to screw the back side, which is this side here, to the front side. And this is actually, even though it looks like two pieces, this is actually in total, the plastic that is 4 pieces, and the wood that support that goes through the middle is the 5th piece. So you put the A and B together, which is the front half, and then C and D, which is the back half, together, and then you put all 4 of those together, and you have to do this 4 times. It recommends that you use a screwdriver on all of this because of the fact it is made out of the MDF material. What I've learned, though, is I can do essentially get the same amount of force with a screwdriver, but using my drill set to a very low torque setting. My drill goes from 1 to 20 on the torque setting, and so to get the amount of force that a screwdriver would be applying with, me turning it with my hand, I usually set the drill to about a 2 or 3. If I really need it a little bit more tighter, I'll set it to a 4, but usually I don't go beyond a 4 if it says to not use any power tools on it. All right, so once you get all of the legs assembled, as you see here, you then do the 4 sides as well as the cross supports. And so the all of these legs connect with the same set of bolts in all 4 positions. You also have these corner pieces here that the wood or MDF pieces slide into to get that grip on there. And so that's how the corners stay together with this outside piece here as well as the inside of the leg. And as you see here, there's these braces. They're 90-degree braces that are at an angle that make that connection there. All right, the next part was putting the tabletop on. With this particular window, I didn't realize it initially, but one of the supports that go across here, so as you see, this one here is in place, but the one over here is not in place. And so it had already broken straight out of the package. The customer did mention how the person that delivered it was kind of struggling to get it out of the delivery vehicle and into the house. And her husband actually had to help the delivery guy get it into the house. So that tells you how heavy this is, and it's really not meant to be lifted by a single person. But a lot of times when you have, or at least from my experience, when it comes to these furniture assemblies, especially these larger items, they will put the larger item into a single box, and that box is probably 70 to 80 pounds. And as you see, this is a pool table. This pool table is probably 7 feet or so. And so imagine trying to carry a 7-foot pool table that probably weighs about 100 or so pounds in a, one box. It's pretty heavy, and to be honest, I cannot pick up this tabletop by myself. I had to have an assistant, which so happens to be the customer's husband, to be able to flip this tabletop and put it into place. So that's something that you may want to consider when if you're interested in buying this product. That it may actually show up damaged because of the fact it is so heavy. But this part was broken, and I made this, made note of this to the customer. I did attempt my best to fix it by adding some screws and nails in on the end, and it was able to hold together. But because of this and the other damage, which you see right here, the end of the pool table, as you see, it was kind of chipped. And they have these pencils. I'm not sure of the official name of them, but you have them where it kind of acts like it's like a grease pen type deal where you can use it to fill in chips on wood. The only thing is this is not real wood. This is like, this particular portion is like a vinyl type wrap on here. So it looks like wood, but it's not actually wood. And so these are actually cuts in the fabric. And I'm assuming it happened from where the shipper, may have banged it up on something trying to pick it up or put it in a truck or whatever the case may be. So ultimately, the customer wasn't happy about this chips here, given more so because of the fact of how much they paid for it, and they would expect it to be delivered in great condition. But as you see, this is the final product of the table being assembled. It looks great, but there are those nicks and dings on it. Ultimately, the customer did contact where they bought it from. I'm not going to call the name of the company of where they bought it from, but they did contact the company of where they bought it from and had it returned to get a replacement. And so I essentially end up having to, once they got that replacement, they contacted me and said, hey, they contacted me directly. And so I did put that pool table together. That pool table came out perfect. They didn't get the didn't get the red one again when they got their replacement because the red was not available. So they did end up getting the typical green pool table. But that was everything for this particular project. Like I say, it took about three and a half hours to put together. It's not the easiest thing to do, but it does, you know, it does go together pretty straightforward according to the instructions. There are a lot of smaller pieces that you have to put together to get this to work, and that's what's usually the time-consuming portion of this particular furniture assembly. If you have any questions about how this project of putting a pool table together, feel free to drop a comment or a question down below. Same goes for if you're interested in applying to become a Handy Pro, you can drop those questions down below. Again, if you want to sign up for Handy, please use my referral link that I have provided here. There is some commission for you as well as myself in using that referral link. Last but not least, I drop videos every week on the channel on Tuesdays and Saturdays. I do discuss technology as well as DIY projects like what you have seen here. So please be sure, if you're interested in that content, to subscribe. Until the next video, peace out.